Good evening, Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I'm attempting my third speech today, and it's a speech that is a little bit close to my heart. As some of you may know, some of you may not know, I've recently been through a surgery, and I had a lot of time to reflect on things. And part of it was like how I was before. And I kept going into the past, like going further and further and further until I came on like a time when I was really young. And my speech today is basically about how my youth was very vivacious, and I don't find it in this year's youth today. All right. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so most of our activities we basically were forced to imagine things, forced to make do, play, make believe. We had a lot of activities amongst ourselves, amongst our friends, that we had a lot of activities amongst ourselves and amongst our friends that involved like a huge level of curiosity. Okay, we used to play around as kids and make believe that there was lava on the floor and stay on the couches, and we used to jump from couch to couch to make sure that we would survive that. We used to line up our pillows and pretend that it was a rowboat. We used to go to the cold store and buy pirate ice cream for one person and hope we got a free one to share with our friends. We used to, we had Sega, we had Nintendo. It just got launched, but not everybody could play it, so we never used to bother playing it. In the hot summer days, we used to create fortresses and tents in our house to enjoy it. Nobody was allowed in. It was just us. It was our youthful days, and it taught us a lot. It taught us like friendship. It taught us not to judge. It taught us to be creative. It was the time of our lives where we could be ourselves, right? But when I come to this point in time, when I look at the youth, it saddens me to see that they are spoiled. Their parents don't give them the freedom to explore. We had our chances of running around and finding really weird places to call our secret houses. But they have a room with a TV that they can switch to any channel and watch TV all day long. And if they do happen to make a friend in this day and age, they invite that friend over and they watch TV with that friend. They have been given iPads at young ages and to watch stuff, to play with things. They are missing that social interaction that we used to get with our neighbors. I fear that when I go and approach a kid and say, "Come on, let's go play hide and seek," he go, "What's that? Is that an app?" Because they're so used to having an iPad. Another thing is that I find youth not to be very respectful these days. They throw a lot of tantrums for things that they don't need. When we grew up, we were just happy that our neighbor got something and we would share it amongst each other. If there was a new toy in the block, literally it would get passed on from house to house. Our parents would wonder, "Where did you get that?" And then we'd be like, "Oh, it's our neighbor's, it's Holland's. He's just lending it to us." But nowadays, they're very self-focused. Everything is for themselves. They don't know the whole point of sharing. Another point to raise is that, although technology interfaces do give a learning platform to kids, they're also learning the wrong things. Back in the days when we grew up, we didn't have too much interferences with the outer world. So we knew what exactly we were getting into. Our parents knew what exactly we were getting into, so they didn't fear that much. However, nowadays, because everybody's connected with the net, they fear, there's all sorts of influences out there. They can get involved with the wrong things, the wrong people. To conclude my points and everything, is that growing up, I've had the most best childhood ever, and when I see youth these days, I wish they could kind of have the same childhood as me. And I really, really wish that they could learn the way I learned, instead of having these interfaces that kind of lead them in the wrong direction and teach them the wrong things.